When I talk to other athletes, either they are forced to leave the league because of an injury, so like a medical retirement, versus having already made that decision. They say it's almost like the loss of a life. So did you find that it was more of like a grieving situation to where you're just really trying to figure out?
I kind of was like grieving because any football that came on, anything I watched, I would get so mad and get so frustrated about like what I could do or what I couldn't do or what I could help or couldn't help.
I think the hardest part of the transition wasn't when I left, got cut by the Falcons and went to law school. It was the year before when I had my best training camp of my career, and then after week 1 got cut by the Jaguars. No, it didn't end with a bang, it ended with a whimper. And I think that was the toughest part. It was just like, someone didn't think I was good enough, and then I was just hanging around, working out every day, waiting for my shot that never came. It's easier to look back on it now, but at the time, it's a pretty big hit to your ego. Everything's going exactly where you want it to go, and then the next day, you're living in your parents' basement, and you run into a neighbor, and they're like, well, what are you going to do with the rest of your life?
That's the worst thing.
I know, it's awful.
The hardest part is seeing people, and they were like, so what are you doing now?
What are you doing now?
What are you doing now? And you have to explain how you go from being this, big football star, and especially in our hometown, I'm not doing that anymore, but you don't even want to have the conversations.
Yeah, you kind of get mad and frustrated and want to almost lash out at people, but you got to kind of keep it cool and collective.
I mean, although you are the one out there, it affects your entire family. So as a significant other, kind of how in the the household do you guys transition or deal with that?
I'd been around for his NFL career and, trying to be that support system as you're being picked up and cut all the time. As athletes, you're used to success. You're used to achieving your goals. You're used to being the best. And I think that's a hard, mentally to give up and say, maybe I'm not good enough when your whole life you've been one of the top players in your field. Kind of hard to throw in the towel after you've done, you've played since you were a kid.
I mean, I can see the frustration when he talks about it. I think finding the strength after everything to move on and progress is, really inspiring.
Athletes are resilient, and I think that resiliency, which you've done throughout your entire career, allows you to then be able to kind of take that next step to decide what is next, because it's kind of changing your whole identity of who you've been kind of moving up to this point.